So I had to film a quick intro because I forgot to do it while I was filming the video. But as you can see, this is the look that we're going for. It's super simple, nothing too done up. The only thing that makes it look a little bit more dressed up than it is the lipstick. But what we're mainly focusing on here is the skin, the foundation, and the eyebrows, and just pretty much step by step on how to do makeup every day when you're just going to work, going to school, nothing fancy. As you can see, there's barely anything on my eyes. So anyway, I hope you have fun, and let's get started. So first I like to start off by really moisturizing my skin with a good thick moisturizer. I have dry combination skin, so I really like to make sure I get a good moisturizer to help prime my skin underneath the makeup. Then I like to go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Primer. Any good primer will do, but like I said, since I have drier skin, I like to use a hydrating one, and this is the only one that has really worked well for me. I like to put it on, focus it on my forehead and then my frown line areas because I smile a lot, so I already have those, and then around the eyes and nose, and then just gently work that in. Okay guys, so a few times during this process I look totally crazy. This is going to be one of a few during this video. So I like to go in with my Pixi by Petra. It's an Awakening Apricot, and basically I use this like orangey-ish salmon color to conceal the darker areas. As you can see, I have a lot of darkness underneath my eyes and around my mouth, so I like to go in with this to kind of give it a little bit of a boost when I use concealer and foundation for a little extra coverage. So I know this seems like a lot of product, and that's probably because it is, but you guys saw how much darkness I have. So I will go in with a damp Real Techniques sponge and just kind of press it in. This also helps to take off some of that extra product. You can already see it's lightened up dramatically. And then I will go in with my foundation. I use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. My color is Rattan 2W2. It's a little bit dark for me right now because I've gotten pretty pale now that it's winter time, but this is what I'm using at the moment. I just use bronzer. Also, I feel like that orange color corrector underneath this foundation really helps to help the foundation blend more evenly into my skin. I do like to press it in with my finger and then go in with the sponge. I just find that I waste less product this way if I press it in first and then I finish doing the blending bit with the Real Techniques sponge. When you are applying your foundation, this step is pretty important. Don't rush through it. Make sure you take time to really press the foundation into your skin. And then of course I drag it down to my jaw and to my neck because the shade is a little bit dark for me right now. You can't even take me seriously with this stuff on my nose, can you? So eyebrows are next. I use the NYX eyebrow pencil, the one that has like a little spoolie on the end. For my eyebrows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pomade. So I like to use the soft brown for the front of my eyebrows and then the darker one for the tail. I feel like I'm gonna have to do this off camera, and I'll just be right back when I'm done. Okay, once I am somewhat satisfied with the shape of the brow, I just let it go. I let it go because you have to sometimes. Now to go in with the concealer, I do use Tarte Shape Tape in light neutral, and this does go underneath my eyes. Under my eyes looks a little bit orange because of that correction stuff, but this will even it out right now. Okay, once it's been sitting for a few minutes, I go in with my Real Technique sponge and I use the tip part and I just tap lightly into my skin, trying to keep the product exactly where I put it, and then I raise it slightly up into the inner corner of the eye. And then I use the other side of it where I had my foundation and I blend it out a little bit more. And then I do the same thing to the other side. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. Then I use my RCMA powder, this one here, the original bottle. This thing has lasted me so long, I really do recommend this as a setting powder. And I grab a little bit and I go in with, I bought this like Real Technique sponge before that has like the pink end and the orange end, and it's terrible. I do not recommend it, but I do use it for the powder, like for placing the powder underneath my eyes. And I just lightly tap to prevent creasing, and I also go to my frown lines because I have that issue with frown lines. And then up the bridge of the nose, and then up on the forehead where I also have some creasing. So now that that's set a little, I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. I used the Real Techniques, what is this? This was like a blush brush, a stippling brush, duh. And I just brush off the powder. Okay, then I go in with a powder brush. I use the Real Techniques powder brush, and I use Fit Me powder. This one here, I'm hitting pan already, I need a new one. I go through one of these like once a month, it's ridiculous. I am in the color 220 Natural Beige, and I just go in with a little bit, and I start underneath my jawline. Now we're going to bronze a little bit. And then the two that I like to use for bronzing is the Hoola by Benefit, and I also like to use Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced. Chocolate Soleil tends to be a little bit darker though, so today I think we're going to keep it light and go with Hoola, just a light bronze. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. And a little bit on the chin, not a lot. You don't want to look like you got socked in the face, which I have managed to have that happen. Not being socked in the face, but look like I've been socked in the face. So just take it easy, man. Take it easy around the jawline and on your chin. Because it's such a small little area, you don't want to just like... And then using that same one, which I know is kind of crazy because people don't typically use bronzers to contour their nose, but I do. I use a little bit of a bigger brush. I use this one by Real Techniques. It's the setting brush. Well, I use this to contour my nose, which I know is kind of outrageous, but I just grab a little bit. I make sure it's nice and flat from the sides, and then I just make a nice line, nice and easy, nice and light, very light with contouring your nose, guys, very light. And I bring it in as I get closer to the beginning of the tip of my nose. And right at the tip of my nose, I like to just, like at the beginning here, like two little dots. And then around it, around the bottom, and then just stretch those little dots upward. And then with my powder brush, I just bring bring that down. And then using that exact same brush, I will go in with my bronzing powder, but this time I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. And I just grab a little bit with the same brush I used to contour my nose, and I drag some of this on top of my eyelids. If you have smaller lid space, this might not work best for you. Just a regular eyeshadow would be fine. Eyeshadow brush would be fine, like a fluffy brush. I just like to minimize the amount of things that I'm using when I'm getting ready quickly for work or for school. Finally, I like to go in with blush and highlighter. I have been using Wet n Wild for both of these. I really love their blush. I'm not a big blush user, but it just makes it super easy because they're really cheap, and if I don't like it, I can just throw it away. Not a big deal. But this one, Wet n Wild, it looks like this. It's 328B Mellow Wine. I like to blend it up toward my bronzer. As you can see, I usually start with one side and do the other one because I lay down some product and it can be a little bit too pigmented. So I just set some of that down, and then I bring it over here and I drag it up, and then I come back and I blend this one out just to make sure the application is still light. It's really easy to overdo it with blush, so just be careful. You don't want to take it up too high and you don't want to come up too far. So just kind of go back and forth with it until it blends out nice and evenly. And then when in doubt, powder blush it out, man. Just press with your powder brush to get rid of some of that color. And then we use some highlighter. This is also by Wet n Wild. It's called Precious Pearls. This is a really good highlighter. I know it's super inexpensive, but don't knock it, man. Don't knock it. I just go in with the fan brush, and a little bit higher than where the blush went. You can go a little bit further up than where the blush went as well, is where you place the highlighter. And then a little bit on the tip of the nose, and then going up toward the bridge of the nose, stopping about there. Don't go all the way up, just a little bit here. And then I do put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And then I go in with my finger and I put a little bit underneath my brow. Since this look is super duper minimal, you don't have to do this. Okay, and then I go in with a lip color of choice. I'm gonna go ahead and use Soft Lilac by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I am gonna line my lips with the liquid lipstick, which is like asking for trouble, so give me a second. Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my fun land. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic. Okay, so this is seriously killing me right now, but that's the best I can do for now. Next, I'm gonna apply a little bit of mascara. I just use the Maybelline Pumped Up Colossal one. Maybelline Colossal Volume Express. And then for eyeliner, in case you guys are wondering, I just use this liquid one by e.l.f., which I get a ton of. They're like $2 at Target, and they're super duper good. I'm really picky when it comes to mascara and eyeliner because my eyeballs run sometimes. Ew. But that's from the eyeliner. So I can't have stuff leaking, and this stuff does not run, and neither does my eyeliner. So mascara is next. Okay guys, so there you have it. This is about as simple as a makeup look will get for me. I'll just switch out the lip color. Maybe I'll do like a little bit more nude of a color sometimes, but as you can see, even just the lip alone does a lot for this look when you want to keep things a little bit more toned down for like everyday wear. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe and like it. Come back, visit me again, and we'll have fun.